Okay, so it's Mark Swartz, DemocraCycle, video number 9 or 10, starting to lose track. I've got in front of me a very pleasant, jovial man. His name is Marcel. We're here in Perth, Ontario, which is really not that far from Ottawa, where the government makes laws. So, Marcel, you've been in Perth for, you said about 9 years now?
Yeah, going on 10 years, yeah.
Okay. And you were living in a small town before that.
Yeah, I lived in a small town of Verona, Ontario, which is just north of Kingston, but I'm originally from a small town outside of Sudbury called Azilda.
I've never heard of Azilda before. Wow.
Really? Actually, yeah, it's from a lady, that was a lady's name, Azilda, and it was a Belanger. So anyway, she was the first lady who kind of was there, stopped by the train, and she became like the doctor and the midwife and
very cool.
Teacher, etc.
Okay. So you've been in Canada for a long time, and you've seen our political system work. Democracy. When you think about that word, what comes to mind?
Just the power of people.
And the power of people to
vote and to be part of a community and helping, make rules and changes and ideally all of that.
Yeah, ideally, exactly. And are you finding that your ideals are being lived up to in terms of what you expect from democracy?
I think so in general. I mean, there's definitely, there will always be room for improvement, but I think whoever is in power will always be facing the criticisms of others, and because it's never going to be exactly right, because everybody wants to be right, and then once they're in power, then things start changing a little bit as they realize that, holy geez, maybe there's more influences that they anticipated,
right,
from, let's say, like big pharma, etc. So they're working with their hands tied a little bit, but that would be any government in a democracy.
Yeah.
That's, to me, anyways.
Okay, so because you're not too far from Ottawa, there was a convoy earlier this year.
Correct.
Did that affect you at all?
It was disturbing, only because there was a lot of traffic, not only in Ottawa, but all in these little towns as well. And, which the negative, like the fuck Trudeau flags and those kind of things. And I think, people like that just goes a little bit overboard. I support their cause as far as the chance or the choices that they could have. I support that up to a certain degree, but we live in a civilization that it could easily affect. So, regarding the vaccination, etc. So, because you're living in there's a civil.
It's a society.
Society.
Yeah.
You just sometimes you have to just go with some of the flow, and you're hoping that that the government has done a good job. And when you start looking at the world, like the whole like the World Association for Health,
right? The WHO.
The WHO, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. The WHO. Therefore, you have to trust that people are doing the best judgment as they can for the world.
So try to trust the science, essentially.
Yeah, the sciences and the people that are making the rules on needing to
making the decisions based on the best known facts.
Correct.
At the time.
Correct.
Okay, so freedom is important, but living in society means that sometimes you may have to give up something in order to create a greater whole.
Correct. And it's almost like, hey, I don't like to pay taxes, but I like to have nice roads and beautiful parks.
Okay.
And I enjoy those, and therefore it's like, we could all stomp and say, we're paying too much tax. Probably we do. But the thing is that it's also keeping everything in a a balance to a certain degree.
Good. Well, that was a very articulate and interesting take on things.
Thanks.
Merci, Marcel.
Hey, and bon voyage on your trip. So you're off to Calador, so all the best.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.